first time in history, we have really no idea whatsoever how the world would look like in 10 years. Processes that used to take centuries are now happening within decades, maybe even a few years. For most of history, the big changes took longer than a human lifespan. So people had the impression that things are more or less as they always were. When grandparents talked with grandchildren, there wasn't this sense that we are now living in a completely different world than when we were kids. But now it's accelerating so much that even people who are like in their 30s and 40s think about their children or about people, in their teens as inhabiting a different world. And for the first time in history, we have really no idea whatsoever how the world would look like in 10 years. I'm not talking about politics. On the kind of political level, it was always impossible to predict how the world would look like in 10 years. If you live in 11th century England, maybe the Vikings will invade next year, maybe the Normans, maybe whatever. There'll be all these wars, revolutions. But the deeper structures of society, what would people do for a living in 10 years or in 15 years? It doesn't matter if the Vikings invade. Most people will still be farmers. So you would teach your kid how to sow wheat and how to grind and harvest and bake bread. This will still be necessary. 50 years from now, doesn't matter if it's the Normans or the Norwegians or whoever. Now this is no longer the case. We have really no idea how the job market would look like in 10 years and what kind of skills people will need. For the first time in history, we